Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at the new Teen Titans Terra figure. Now I stopped at a comic book store today while I was at a festival or fair, whatever you may call it, and I picked up a bunch of figures including Terra for $5, which actually is a pretty sweet deal. So I was debating on buying it for a bit more than that. A Marvel Selects Thor. In fact, the other day somebody was asking me if I had a Thor, whether or not I could review it. Well, I now do have a Thor. I was holding out, waiting to possibly buy the Blob Series version, but I ended up getting the Marvel Selects version for $10. They had a bunch of Marvel Selects for $10, which I would have picked up like a whole bunch of them, but you know, I was with people and didn't want to look too crazy. I also picked up an anime figure and a Dengar, which I'll be reviewing the Dengar and this today. But yeah, for people not familiar with Terra, or who have some illusion of her being a hero, I guess it's probably not a big spoiler or anything now, but in the Judas contract, it's revealed that the entire time that she's been with the Teen Titans, she's been a traitor at working for Deathstroke, aka Slade, who she's also been having sexual relations with, despite being she was like 14 or 15 at the time. Now they carried over these same plot points to the Teen Titans cartoon, minus the relationship, obviously, because it was a lot cleaner. But I got this because I doubt they're ever going to come out with a DC Universe Classics version of her. But if they did, I think it'd be cool if they came out with the newer look, the look that she had on the Teen Titans the cartoon. But I mean, either way, it'd be cool just to have a DC Universe version of her, but DC Universe Classics version, or of course, not those tiny little guys. But I mean, in terms of this figure, I mean, it's an okay sculpt and so forth, so you're basically would be getting the essential look that you would otherwise. It's just you'd probably miss out on the height. I forget how tall she actually was, but well, I'm gonna open it up and take a look. Silly me. First, I actually should just show off the entire package. I mean, I gave a good package view there, but just for the back of the card, I guess this was the Wave 2, I think, for the new Teen Titans figure set. I don't remember offhand. It's a DC Direct, by the way. But the other figures in the wave were Robin, which I mean, there have been a dozen Robins so far, and a lot of them do look better than that. Jericho, Slade's or Deathstroke's son, and Deathstroke. But Deathstroke has a costume version available in the DC Universe Classics. I forget which wave. So I mean, he wasn't very priority, although actually they may even have an unmasked variant, but I don't even remember at this point. Jericho, I don't think's ever seen a DC Universe Classics or any really big thing, because he wasn't like a major Titan. I think he had also ended up betraying the team at some point, but alright, now I'm going to open it up. I usually don't save packaging, or at least I try not to, but I think I will with this figure. Usually I just save the card, but I like the overall design of the package. She comes with a stand and a little rock base to simulate the powers, as well as the figure itself, which looks pretty decent. While I'm on the subject, there have been several Terras, I believe, because I think there was a clone of her that came back. And recently, within the past few years, I remember seeing a new interpretation of Terra with black hair and so forth, but I think the name might be different too. I just saw the cover of the borders. I didn't bother picking up the issue or anything, because I haven't really collected comics or a whole lot recently. But as you can see, it's a pretty decent looking figure. It's a fairly good likeness. There's some, looks like it's fade on the top, so I can see white among the yellow or the blonde, but I mean, maybe that's just a stylistic touch. In terms of articulation, ball joint shoulders, but it's not a full ball joint. Like it'll go out a bit, but not all the way, which kind of sucks. No elbow joints. Like there's some patterning here, but you can see that the lines don't really follow the pattern, because it looks like they had like lines carved into the sculpt itself to designate how the patterning should go, but then they didn't actually go for the patterning. That smile's so crazy looking, isn't it? But the wrists move, as you can see, and the forearms look, no, they don't move. So the wrists move, arms move at shoulders, and of course the legs move, single joint. And knees, of course, will move. Also a bit of mispainting there. Actually, the pin joints look kind of funky, but I don't know, for the price I paid, even if it did have errors, I think it's still pretty cool, because you won't notice that stuff unless you're looking really close. Now the stand, of course, is this little rock thing. Let's just see if I can pose it real quick. Right, other leg would have to go forward first. And this actually pegs right into the base. I'm not sure how this goes, but let's see. You know what, I'm going to pause the video and figure this out. Okay, so apparently bouncing on floating rock is a little bit harder than it looks. It took me quite a while to pose that, just to get the thing to go right. I guess you have to have the back leg fully extended, then some weird bending at the upper one. But on the whole, I think it's a pretty decent looking figure. I mean, facial sculpt, it's kind of iffy. Although I don't really like when they do this with the when they have a layer of plastic behind the actual leg, but I mean, it doesn't look too awful with this figure. Only really tacky thing is they have some company info and stuff written on the inside of the leg, the inner thigh, which of course would be visible if you're actually posing it, so it's kind of stupid. And at the very base it'll plug into the little stand it comes with, which means that you don't really get any additional variety, but cool figure besides that, and you know, gets me one step closer to assembling my Titans team. So yeah, pretty decent buy.